Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. And this is a paid request for FreddyLit. And he wanted me to do a commentary on the 2010 film The Crazies. Now, to be honest, I haven't seen this film probably since it came out. Although I do like the film, I remember enjoying the film, but it's just with so many films, sometimes it's hard to rewatch them on any regular basis. And I mean, maybe I saw one other time when I got the the Blu-ray, but I remember vague memories. I remember the pitchfork, with the person carrying around the pitchfork, killing people who were tied to the beds. The ending with the explosion, which was a bit ridiculous, although I do like the film, from what I remember. Timothy Olyphant actually wasn't that bad in the film. Radha Mitchell, who I've always enjoyed, she's in the film. But wanted me to do a commentary on it, so here you go. I'm paused at the beginning. If anyone wants to request any type of videos, whether it be a topic, tier list, ranking, review, re-review, thought streams, commentaries, video game playthrough, tier list, ranking, a movie topic, whatever the case, feel free to send it. PayPal is usually the best way to do it. To have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. So, thank you. Pause at the beginning. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Paramount Vantage. I even forgot that was a thing. I don't even know how long that lasted, Paramount Vantage. Overture Films. Stars Company, okay. Forgot Stars had a company. Yeah, a lot of these companies just have completely forgotten about. Participant Media. And we have A Place on Fire. Showing the remains of the town. And looks like California. Two days earlier. Got a bit of Johnny Cash there. Can't be too bad when you're starting out with Johnny Cash. I mean, right off the bat, some really beautiful cinematography in terms of really getting the scope of the country landscape. They really show that middle of nowhere quality. We have Radha Mitchell, who I've always been a fan of. Liked her in Pitch Black. Liked her in this killer crocodile movie called Road. She was in the first Silent Hill movie. Very talented actress. Again, always nice to see her in a movie. Definitely one of the better actresses. Maybe a bit underrated. Now, this is a time period where it felt like all the time you would see a horror film remake, because you had Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 2003. You had Dawn of the Dead in 2004. From 2004 onward, you had the Hitcher remake, which was 2007. You had the Prom Night remake, which was, what, 2008? Friday the 13th was 2009. Halloween was 2007. A Number on Elm Street might have been the same year as this, 2010. I forgot what year that was. The Omen remake was what, 2006? This is where you get your first incident, which was in the trailer, from what I remember. This is in the trailer. It was definitely a weird sight to have. Some guy with a shotgun coming onto the field. Yeah, Timothy Olyphant is still kind of like talking through his teeth. Like his teeth is really showing, but I actually thought Timothy Olyphant. And sorry, my sinuses are acting up because of the damn weather. But I actually did not mind him in this role. I thought he worked well, worked capable in this. Can't really blame him. Yeah, maybe thinking, well, why not shoot him in the leg? Well, even if he gets shot in the leg, you may still have enough to shoot his leg, his shoulder, himself, somewhere else. The idea of the military watching. I don't know if they explain, was this something that leaked? Was this just an experiment? Now, to be honest, this may be controversial. I don't really like the original The Crazies, with George Romero directing. Now, I mean, I like George Romero. May he rest in peace. And then, all sorts. Apparently, my body is getting steered from this movie. Just make all damn noises. But what was he supposed to do, lady? Let himself get killed? You weren't there. I get it, it's her husband, the kid's father. I get it, but yeah, when I think of George Romero, Dawn of the Dead is a classic. I love Dawn of the Dead. It's my favorite zombie film. It's perhaps my favorite film of the 70s is the original Dawn of the Dead. I also enjoy Day of the Dead. I enjoy Monty Shines. I liked The Dark Half. I don't hate Land of the Dead. It's okay. Bruiser is... I can tolerate it. I think when I first saw it, I hated it. Now I could tolerate it, but I'm not a fan of Night of the Living Dead. I find it too boring. I find it too threadbare. I can understand it's what it did, but at the same time, it's not a film I care to watch anytime. Or rewatch, I should say. It's not because it's an older film. I like Dracula. I like Frankenstein. I like The Thing from Another World from the 50s. I like Them, which were in the 50s. I could watch Psycho, more so the first half. Rear Window, The Birds. So it's not because it's an older film. I just think the remake is the same story, but done, in my opinion, a lot better. Better actors, better characters. So yeah, the Crazies, the original, I just didn't care for it because I didn't care about the characters. I think the budget kind of showed in that film, and I don't know, I just didn't do anything for me. Like this one, I think I like the acting more. I thought the story has a better build up, more proper build up. Like they start small, you have this weird incident on the baseball field, and then we'll slowly see it ratchet up. And for the most part, center on these characters. While the original Crazies, it was like this group, then the scientist group, then this, and Philpott standard shot. I'm trying to remember, doesn't this like take place in Iowa or something? No alcohol in his body, so why did he act that way? And I mean, I didn't have much hope when I first saw this because I'm like, okay, it's another horror remake, and I like the Dawn of the Dead remake. I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, but then some were like The Hitcher, The Omen, April Fool's Day, Prom Night. There's a lot of lousy ones. But this one, I think it's just. See, that's about. Yeah, doesn't he repeat this line? Yep, there you go. Oh, I think it is Iowa because she mentions Cedar Rapids, and that's in Iowa. Maybe that was kind of appealing too, because there's not a lot of horror films that take place in Iowa, which is where I was born, in Iowa. I think they do capture the look of the land. It definitely has that Iowa look. That farmhouse in particular, that definitely seems straight out of Iowa. Now, I don't know where they shot this. I don't know all the details, but I thought they did capture that right. It's weird that this is directed by Breck Eisner. Breck Eisner, he only directed 4 films. I forget what the first film he directed. Then he did Sahara with Matthew McConaughey. Not that good of a movie. It wanted to be Indiana Jones. It wanted to be, in a way, kind of what would become the Uncharted video game. Oh, that was done a lot better. I know it was based on books, but Sahara was just really lame, very boring. It was like one of the biggest flops as well. So when you direct a film that's considered one of the biggest flops, that's a very eerie looking shot, being right in front of that damn thing. But you would think that if you direct one of the biggest flops of all time, you probably would not work again. But I guess years later, they're like, okay, sure, give this a shot. And this film, I mean, it cost, I guess, 20 million and it made like 39 million. So I don't know if you would consider that a hit in terms of, it's not like, well, that means they made $19 million. That's not how it works because there's marketing, there's budgeting. Whatever's made, the movie theaters get a chunk of change, and then the studio gets a different chunk of change. So, whether this was profitable, I don't know. I don't know if this was profitable. Because I think he only made one more film, that was The Last Witch Hunter with Vin Diesel. I think that was a film that they wanted to be a franchise, and or at least Vin Diesel did. Because Vin Diesel always wanted to have another franchise, but they made 3 Pitch Black films, but really the first one was the only hit one. They did that Triple X 3, and they want to make it seem like it was a big hit, overseas. But if it was that big of a hit, then they would have made more Triple X films, just like they did Fast and Furious films. That's because Triple X, when he returned, did not make much of any money in the U.S. Yeah, Breck Eisner. But I thought he did, I think this is his best directing job. This whole bit of a mom and son being hunted by the father and not knowing what's going to happen next. Oh, he locked the place, right? Yeah, he's gonna burn the place down. I just said this was more of a B-movie gory film. It would have had the Combine kill the lady, but nice that they used actual practical fire. Nowadays that would be like CGI fire. Even that one shot would be CGI fire. If it was, what was that? Sylvester Stallone, the one he was in for a bit, Alarm, CGI fire. And sadly, that's the thing that's happening. People burning their family in a fire. I remember. See, that's a cool looking shot. You had Timothy and Radha, and then you had the fire in the background. That wide shot. I wish they held that longer though, because the shot with like the fire on the house in the background, and then the two in the foreground, like here. They should have held the shot a lot longer because it definitely had a nice scope to it, but that was still a nice looking shot. Is that a parachute or something? Yeah, looks like a military guy parachuting down. I thought the way this police station, it's I think the lighting works in terms of usually they have like movie lighting, but this is like how it would actually be lit. This is probably the most activity he's had in a long time. Not counting being full of shit. Well, yeah, that's the rule. Yeah, watch this again. It just has a nice build up, and it looks slickly produced. This guy in the back, what is his name? Travis? He looks familiar. Uh, right underneath them. See, that's a cool looking shot. That reveal, we see the plane underneath the water. That's a cool looking shot. Containment protocol. That's why the guy that was in the back of the boat, Travis, he was in this film called Renaissance Man as a guy named Melvin, where I forget if he was either just sleeping on the time or just kind of being oblivious with a certain look on his face. I know he looked familiar. It says here apparently Brad Anderson at first was going to do this film, who did Session 9 and The Machinist, and he had creative differences with the studio, and Brad Anderson left. So it takes place in Iowa, but it was filmed in Georgia. But there was additional filming done in Iowa. But mostly it was filmed in Georgia. But that guy ain't having a good day. See, I do like that. I like that he stops the guy from opening the cell. He's like, wait a minute, wait a minute. If he is, he won't mind waiting. But I like that. I like that your character actually did a smart decision. He said, no, 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 don't open that cell. Let's wait on it. And then, lo and behold, wow, a character doing a smart decision. So the internet is out, the phone is out, containment protocol. They can't talk to anybody, they can't get out. I wonder if this is a town they borrowed or a town they built. Because, I mean, they could have built, like, the outside and just not have anything in it. And some would say, you build a town because that way you can do anything you want, you can wreck it, you don't have to worry about it. Or you borrow a town and then you do what you want, you just have to clean it up afterward. Up. And they peeled out of there without even thinking twice. Trying, well, maybe they'll say later, like, why is it that Timothy and Radha don't get infected by whatever this is? Is it some kind of natural immunity that just some people have? I'm trying to remember, like, if there's an explanation as to that. Not sure if that thing in the eyes is typical medical procedure. Like, that's not hard on, is it? Jesus. Jesus Christ. Oh shit. Doctor's eye was fucking mine. It was Dr. Diddles. See, I thought that was that's kind of a neat reveal. You find a guy who's been his lip's been stitched behind you. Yeah. Like that's a cool. Like this here also. Like I fight with a guy who's got a damn saw. Got a bit like a little action movie now. Well, that's one way to do it. Granted, I would just been like, lift your ass up. Like you're going bad. Like lift up. And this goes by pretty quickly. Like, it doesn't have a whole lot of downtime. Like, sets up the small town. I mean, you can maybe argue you would like a little bit more build up, like characterization of the characters. Just pretty quickly we get to the baseball field and things. So, I mean, you don't know a whole lot about Timothy Olyphant or Radha Mitchell other than one's the sheriff, one's the doctor. They're together. But I would just say, like, the actors themselves convey enough of a presence that, you know, I don't mind them. I root for them. Maybe just for good versus evil, but I don't think they're giving bad performances, if that makes sense. So characterization may be small, but here's the military. I forgot the military came in at this point. Like I said, say watch it for the first time, but damn, 30 minutes went by. It'd been pretty quick. So now we got the military involved. Damn, they definitely got good production here. A lot of extras involved. Well, either she's got immunity to it or it's a false positive because she doesn't turn. I know that. So then it's either a false positive or she's immune. Oh, that's a cool shot. I don't know if I noticed that before. Her reflection in the mask. Yeah, you guys actually doing a test on her? Or you just gonna leave her? I think she said she's pregnant. Being herded like cattle. Getting you out of here for what? Hell of a riot. Let the damn. So I would say that riot is like their team won the football game or lost the football team. I like that. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why I can't leave my wife. I won't ask you why you can. I like that line. So I don't know all those other people. They're just going to be sent to somewhere safe or some other facility. I don't know. Damn, that's a lot of helicopters. Well, I guess it still contains that sense of mystery, since it's not explaining why is some infected, why are some not. You don't have people. Let me explain this to you. Let's do some exposition. At least not yet. It may come later. Again, I haven't seen this film in a long ass time, but you can't blame the guy for wanting to get his damn wife. Oh, she's been running a fever all month because she's pregnant, so they assumed that was the other sickness. So, false positive. She's sick, but not for that thing. Yeah, I think this is the bit with the pitchfork. Which I always thought this is such a creepy idea. Like you're tied up and this guy's just pitchforking people one by one, going down the line, coming towards you. And the fact it's a pitchfork too, so it's not a typical weapon. I mean, pitchfork deaths, there was it a pitchfork in the neck in Friday the 13th Part 3? I think the Prowler had a pitchfork death. I think Friday the 13th Part 2. What was that one movie? I forget what it was called. You know, there's been, pitchfork. It's just not something you see every other day in a horror movie. So I'm getting at. Damn. The sound effects showing the exit definitely showcases a bit of intensity to it all. I do that little moment. She's trying to help, and then she's like, "Shit." That's a real reaction. Of course, in movie world, right at the nick of time, in reality, he would have arrived like 2 minutes late, or 5 minutes late, or 15 minutes late. But it's like you got, they try. That's always the thing with movies. It's always got to be the last minute. So is the idea the military did all this, or the Crazies did all this, or a fight between the two? That's interesting. They booted all the cars. Huh. That's an interesting idea that the village just had like this one truck with just a shitload of boots to put on each car. Interesting idea. So it's just hunters having fun. Well, if they want to go kill them all, let be my guest. Do the work for us. Rather loving the job a bit too much, but still. What are you taking the bodies for? What are you gonna do? Have them for lunch? Up a fucking barbecue? Why was that one not booted? Oh well, that's their truck. Duh, that's why. It was their truck. That's why the bodies were in there. So they arrived there recently. Duh, that's why. but all the other vehicles are booted. An interesting idea. Well, like he says, I drank through the same tap as you did, and I'm not sick. Man, that's a shitty basketball hoop. Is that a height that I'm taller than where the hoop is? Ah, the military guys. See, I deal with the crazy, I deal with the military guys. Well, like his mom ain't gonna make it. Yeah, I think Timothy Olyphant kind of knows this kid ain't gonna. Yeah, I mean, pretty brutal. Killed the mom, killed the son, then just flamethrower them. And no CGI. No CGI enhancements. Nowadays, like the flamethrower would be CGI or something. Or the squib, there'd be a CGI blood flying somewhere. Thankfully, didn't have any of that, which I appreciate. Hell of a risk to be taken. Hell of a risk to take. I guess I expect at least to be one decent human being in there. So yeah, the soldier was told the disease is airborne. But again, if that's the case, then how come some of these folks ain't sick? So I mean, the film is not like wall-to-wall action or anything. It's not wall-to-wall like the Dawn of the Dead remake. That's definitely more guns blasting, shooting zombie type of movie. Which is one of the reasons why I would put Dawn of the Dead remake above this because of that. But still pretty solid. Well, those people that left in that transport aren't dead. At least I don't think. At least we haven't been told. Then maybe eventually they'll be. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, we don't know for certain what happened to all those people that Timothy Olyphant could have gone with. I don't know if they just let him go out into the public, unless they don't put him in some bunker and hold him for tests just in case. I have a feeling pretty soon there's going to be another crazy moment. It's been a little while since we've had that. There you go. Answered my question. Not even a question I had, but there you go. Just as I said, camera pans, we got some crazy bitch. Up there you go. Come on, man. Reach for it. Oh, shit. God damn. Oh, it's those two. Grab the knife and stab the motherfucker. Let go, grab the knife and stab the motherfucker. Ooh. Oh, that's nice. That's interesting. Stab her in the neck with the knife still in your hand. Ooh. Nice effects there. That's some good effects. But yeah, I like the idea that you stab someone and the knife is still in there. Made sense he would have heard the gunshot. Now, of course, that leaves the question, was he making sure or is he getting affected a bit? Nadia, was he sick? Or is he was double checked in and he's being a bit more ruthless because he needs to be? Choose that paranoid route. I would think, yeah, I was thinking that Chopper would have seen you. See, that's why I mean what I like about the story is that you have these two groups you have to deal with. You got to deal with the crazy people, you got to deal with the military people. So there's a variety there already. Different types of people having to do different types of dangers. So it's like they can't leave because there's a helicopter to shoot them down, but then if they stay, there's crazy people. So again, that dynamic is kind of a cool. Not many horror sequences on a car wash, so that's at least something unique. I saw movement. Everything is fucking moving. Also, you're wasting bullets. Don't be wasting bullets you don't have, and ooh shit. There you go. Radha's kicking some ass. Come on, Timothy. Your pregnant wives do something. You do something. Oh shit. That's definitely a inventive way to off someone. Didn't hunt at a damn car wash. Although probably the yank probably broke her neck more so. Yeah, I would say it was the hard yank that probably like broke her neck. Like I like the little details on Timothy's face to show that the punch through the glass affected his face. I guess sadly in a way that girl's death saved their lives because they would have been in that car and got firebombed, blown up. Yeah, I do like the makeup on Timothy's face. Yeah, those little details help sell the illusion. That's the thing with this, is not a whole lot egregiously wrong with it. That's the thing is, it's competently made. Good usage of the environment. These wide open spaces that really sell the desolate countryside. For the most part, everything's done practical. I think the explosion at the end is where you did a bit of digital, and I know that looked pretty weak, pretty lousy. compared to the rest of the film. That's a good trash and roll, I'll say that. Good stunt, well filmed. Biological weapon lost to plane named Trixie. Hmm. Incubation period 2 days, and he mentioned it's been 3 days. Tell you one thing, it certainly seems like he has it. Definitely tell why he gives that illusion. Again, interesting predicament. Deputy pushing on and save your life 3 times. Then if he's a crazy, why didn't you just kill him now? So again, why the hell would you waste the bullets? Well, I mean, if he's crazy, then he's not doing insane things, so of course he do. I do like that how he like got the guy on, lowers guard and just smack him right in the face. This is the best way to do it. What happened to that 2-day incubation period? Well, it kind of defeats that 2-day incubation window then, if that's the case. Sad, sweet moment, you know. Guy playing the deputy, I don't know the actor's name. He's doing a really solid job. I mean, I guess what, if he did what they told him, they would still kill him anyway. Did a nice job showing all these deserted places. So this is where he was at. Your Monster Energy drink. There you go. Nice looking restaurant. Wouldn't it have been better if you went with him? Because at least you guys would be together. And why are you going around the dark corner, Radha Mitchell, going away from the light? Going to like the darker portions. But this is where those people were that he was going to leave with. Oh, we don't find that they're all dead. Which then, if that's the case, then that would have answered my question. They just killed them all just in case. Just let them all be killed. Did not take any chances. Yeah, I just up. Well, there you go. They answered my question with the little bracelets. So that answered my question. Exterminated everyone, and not even just the sick. Because they want to hide their fuck up. They want to hide their fuck up. They want to hide their screw up. They don't want to admit they screwed up, so they want to hide it. It was just an accident, or it was some foreign menace. Some other to get the blame, put the blame onto them. See, I forgot about that. Forgot about that bit. The shell casing shows they shot them all, and then... Granted, if they were burned, why would the green bracelet still be there? Now that I think about it. Wouldn't that have burned? That actually doesn't make sense. Now that I think about it. Because the whole body is burnt up. Like, those are burnt up corpses. But the green thing looks... What is that? Fireproof? It burns the clothes, it burns the skin, but doesn't burn this green slip thing they put on there. If someone wants to explain that to me, it's like, we gotta show that it was them, but like I said, it doesn't make sense why that would still be on there. Like, how did that not get burnt up? I'm just saying. How did that happen? Showing that the guy was back there, then the camera goes back and he's not there anymore, so do you have a bit of suspense? So we know something's there, we just don't know when it'll pop up. Oh, those rednecks are there too? The hunters? Or are the hunters the crazies? I'm surprised there has not been any like direct-to-video sequels or something. Because they sequelize everything. Although to be fair, there's been no April Fool's Day 2, sequels or to the remake or a direct-to-video sequel to the remake of The Hitcher. There was The Hitcher 2, sequel to the original, which was a horrible one. Guess they didn't feel it was a title that needed to be milked to death. Okay, are these hunters crazy? Like they're infected, or they're just assholes? Being murderous assholes hunting the infected. Well, I don't know why I did that, but Yep, they're infected. You'd tell by their face. And they didn't go too over the top with the makeup effects of the infected people. And this is a remake that kind of been forgotten. Like, no one ever talks about this film. No one ever brings up this film. No one ever mentions this film. So it's definitely fallen through the gaps. But I would say watch this again. This is still one of the more decent remakes. Like, it's been an hour and 25 minutes, and we have 10 minutes left. So it's a very short film. And it's paced well enough that I haven't. It's gone by like that. Can't tell me they didn't hear that. Got enough damn teas. That 85 fucking teas. Oh shit. Then different location for this type of scene. In this type of infected movie to be in like where cars are worked on and being underneath. It's just a different type of environment. Makes it feel a bit different, a bit unique. I like that we're able to see a little bit of the fight underneath while this guy is approaching up above. Timothy giving some haymakers. There you go. There you go, Radha. Right in the head. This guy getting his ass kicked by Mr. Mohawk. Actual fire stunt, very nice. I thought that, okay, that was really cool. Getting all done, real fire, real person on fire. Nice bit of an intense moment. At least one more crazy moment before we get to our chase finale. And that would have been on all CGI. I like that there's... I'm trying to be as minimal with CGI as possible. I think they have it here. Because I remember this looking a bit iffy. Plus, like, how the fuck did they survive? There's no way they would have survived it. And, like, what kind of bomb is it? Because if it's a nuclear bomb, then the radiation would kill them eventually. If it's just a regular bomb, the blast would have killed them more so than Indiana Jones in the fucking fridge. I like that moment of silent, that beat of being silent, and then I mean, it looks like a fucking nuclear explosion. Yeah, this is when you get the CGI and not the best. Didn't look the best, and would they survive that explosion? And again, if it's a nuclear explosion, the radiation would fucking kill them, and also that's what, you know. I mean, if I think about it, would they fire a nuclear explosion on their own soil, and then whatever the winds of radiation would kill how many more people? And so maybe it's not nuclear. I mean, I don't know what kind of explosion it is, so maybe it's not that. Again, I don't know what kind it is. Again, I would think it wasn't that kind, because it's like, what? Interesting looking shot, I'll say. Definitely interesting looking shot. Where did they get those clothes? I mean, obviously they've been walking pretty far to get to another day, get to another town. So obviously they're not sick. If the incubation period was 2 days and it's been multiple days, I think they're obviously not sick. So that says Cedar Rapids initiate containment protocol, and it's like, well, I don't like that. I don't like that because number one, so somehow the Sallies picked up these two random people, teeny blips. They would go, wait a minute, it's been this many days, they're still not sick. I guess they don't know, maybe they are sick. There's no sequel. I don't know, it just brings like a, well, we can't have it end that happily. So I think they could have just taken that bit out. Ogden Marsh explosion. Cedar Rapids live. Not hearing any dialogue from the guy. And yeah, I don't know what that was about. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Are we supposed to believe that Cedar Rapids is now infected? How did they get infected? Or is the idea is that the infection somehow has reached them just as airborne? I don't know. Leaves a bit of questions on that. And the fact there's no sequel, obviously there's no answers to that. So I think they could have just left that off. Just have them walk away and then it ends. But that's just me. So other than I would say the only nitpicks I would say I have is number one, maybe a little bit more action, a little bit more. By the end, now I'm thinking like Dawn of the Dead remake, but just like maybe a little bit more action, maybe a little bit more incidents with the Crazies. Maybe two or three more, and a bit of maybe have a scene or two of the military really fighting the Crazies and them really bowing each other. Maybe a bit of that town, what was going on in that town when they walk through and everything's on fire and stuff. Like, see a little bit of that. And then the ending, like them surviving the explosion, and if it's a nuclear explosion, how the hell they don't not get radiation sickness. If it's just an explosion, it's still the truck being up here is just not the best effects. And then that kind of sequel bait ending. That's what I call it. I call it a sequel bait. Maybe they didn't intend a sequel, but that kind of dot dot dot. It's not over yet. It's like, well, you didn't need it. I don't think it was needed. I don't think people went, yeah, wait, I love that bit. So I don't think that, yeah. I wish they would just left that off. But I mean, it does leave a bit of question as to what will happen next, which will never be answered. Never be answered. But with that said, I think this is a pretty good remake. So guess what? I don't hate all remakes. I don't think all remakes are bad or sucky. I think this is a pretty good one. It moved at a good pace. It's only an hour and 30-some minutes. The actors did their jobs well. Timothy Olyphant, which I'm not usually a big fan of, he did a decent job. Always enjoyed Radha Mitchell. There's not a lot of deep characterization, but the actors performed well enough that I cared about the characters. For most of the film, it was stuff done practically, either people set on fire or it's not the goriest film, but there's a little bit here and there, gunshots, things of that nature. The pitchfork bit, I thought the pitchfork and the car wash and that bit under, like, some little different locations, which makes it feel unique. Doesn't feel like the same typical bit of business. It moved consistently. It never really fucked around and got boring. The effects is minimal. I mean, it's there, but it's not over the top or goofy. I didn't really find anything other than that last bit with the explosion and them surviving. The rest of it I didn't find silly or goofy, and there's really not a whole lot egregiously bad about this film. Unlike a Nightmare on Elm Street remake, unlike the Hitcher remake, or the Jacob's Ladder remake. And as a remake, it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good, and I do like it more than the original. Because I think it's paced better. I think the set pieces are more interesting. I think it's a good-looking movie. Breck Eisner, the wide-open shots of the countryside and the desolation of the areas and the quietness in certain parts where it really does feel like they're alone and everybody else is gone. It definitely gave that vibe, that feel. And overall, good. I liked it. I do like it. So, thanks to FreddyLit for the request. Not just because it was a paid request, but for letting me watch this again. And, yeah, this is a pretty good, underrated... Yeah, I would say underrated, because no one really talks about this remake. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.